The flashing lights of the squad car painted the sidewalk in erratic blues and reds, turning the bustling dinner crowd outside Alex Harper's bistro into a frozen tableau of wide-eyed strangers. Rough hands pinned him against the brick wall, a burly cop barking orders as latex-gloved fingers rifled through his pockets, yanking out keys, a crumpled receipt, and finally his wallet, spilling its contents like accusations onto the grimy pavement. In that split second, as the officer's eyes locked on the faded photo tucked behind his ID, Alex's heart slammed against his ribs, the weight of a decade-old secret crashing down harder than the humiliation of being searched like a criminal in front of everyone he knew. The photo was unremarkable at first glance. A young man in crisp army fatigues, standing ramrod straight beside a Humvee in the Iraqi dust, his face all sharp angles and unyielding resolve, the kind that came from surviving sandstorms and IEDs. But to anyone who looked closer, it was Alex, 18 years younger, before the discharge papers stamped "Don't Ask, Don't Tell" had forced him into silence, before he'd traded dog tags for chef's whites and built a life in New York's Hell's Kitchen where no one asked too many questions about the scars under his tattoos. The cop paused, his meaty hand hovering, the crowd's murmurs swelling into a low hum of confusion. "This you?" he grunted, holding up the photo like evidence in a trial Alex hadn't known was starting. Alex swallowed hard, tasting copper from where he'd bitten his lip. "Yeah," he muttered, voice steady despite the tremor in his knees. "Served 2 tours. Bronze Star. You gonna cuff me for that too?" The officer's face shifted, not softening, exactly, but cracking, like ice under a pickaxe. He straightened, glancing at his partner, who was already backing off with a sheepish shrug. The cuffs clicked open, and just like that, the night exhaled. But as the cops melted into the crowd with mumbled apologies about a mix-up on the tip, Alex knew this wasn't over. The real storm was just brewing, one that would drag his hidden past into the light and force him to confront the loves he'd buried deeper than any battlefield grave. Inside the bistro, the air still hummed with the sizzle of garlic and rosemary, but the energy had soured. Servers darted glances at the door, plates clattered a beat too loud, and Alex's sous chef, Mia, crossed her arms over her stained apron, her dark eyes flashing with that fierce protectiveness she'd honed from years of slinging plates and dives that catered to the queer underground. "What the hell was that about?" she demanded as Alex slumped onto a stool behind the pass, rubbing his wrists where the cuffs had chafed red welts. He didn't answer right away, just stared at the photo now back in his wallet, the edges worn soft from too many furtive touches and moments of doubt. Mia slid a shot of whiskey his way, top shelf, the kind they saved for VIPs, and leaned in. "Alex, talk. You look like you saw a ghost." He took the glass, the burn grounding him as he recounted the bare bones. An anonymous call about suspicious activity. The raid that turned out to be nothing but paranoia-fueled bullshit from a neighbor who'd caught wind of the bistro's drag brunch, drawing the wrong crowd. Hell's Kitchen had changed since Alex opened Harper's Hearth 5 years ago. Gentrified condos sprouting like weeds, straight families pushing strollers past rainbow flags. But old prejudices died hard. "They thought I was dealing or something," he said finally, forcing a wry smile. "Because a gay guy running a spot with good food must be up to no good." Mia's laugh was sharp, devoid of humor. "Assholes. Remember that reviewer last month? Called it fabulous but frantic? Code for too gay." She paused, her gaze softening as she clocked the way Alex's fingers lingered on the wallet. Mia knew pieces of his story, the military stint he'd mentioned once after too many beers, the honorable discharge that felt anything but. What she didn't know was how it connected to the ache he carried, the one that made him pour everything into the restaurant because building walls with flour and fire was safer than letting anyone close enough to see the cracks. By closing time, word had spread like grease fire on social media. Phones buzzed with notifications, local blogs picking up the viral video some diner had shot, hashtags like "Justice for the Chef" and "Queer-owned under attack" trending in niche corners of Twitter. Alex scrolled through them in the dim kitchen light, the glow casting shadows that made his jawline look even more haunted. One tweet stopped him cold, a grainy still from the video, him against the wall, eyes defiant, captioned by an account called at NYC Truth Teller. "This vet's fight isn't over. Who's with him?" Attached was the photo, the one the cop had found. Somehow it had leaked. Alex's stomach twisted. Exposure like this could be a weapon or a shield. In his world, it was usually both. He pocketed the phone and locked up, the city night wrapping around him like a damp coat. Hell's Kitchen at 2 a.m. was a symphony of distant sirens and laughter spilling from bars, the kind of raw pulse that had drawn him here after the army spit him out in Ohio, where small-town stares had felt like sniper fire. He'd hitchhiked east with a duffel and a dream, enrolling in culinary school on the GI Bill, trading MREs for mise en place. Harper's hearth was his fortress, exposed brick walls lined with family photos he wished were his own, a menu blending Southern comfort with French finesse, shrimp and grits with beurre blanc, fried green tomatoes stacked with goat cheese. It was a hit with the theater crowd, the late-night hustlers, anyone seeking solace in a bowl of gumbo that tasted like home, even if home had rejected them. But as Alex trudged up the stairs to his apartment above the bistro, the weight settled heavier. The incident replayed in loops. The cop's grip, the crowd's silence broken only by a single voice, soft, urgent, yelling, "Hey, ease up." He'd caught a glimpse then, a figure pushing forward, broad shoulders in a leather jacket, face half-shadowed by a hood. Gone before Alex could thank him. Probably just another bystander, he told himself, unlocking the door to the loft's familiar clutter. Stacks of cookbooks, a well-worn couch facing a TV he rarely watched, and on the nightstand, a framed sketch of two hands intertwined, one calloused from rifle grips, the other soft from piano keys. A gift from Jordan, the ex who'd shattered him 2 Thanksgivings ago with a whispered, "I can't do this anymore," over pumpkin pie. Jordan. The name still stung like lemon on a cut. They'd met at a VA support group for queer vets, bonded over shared silences about deployments and discharges. Jordan, with his easy laugh and musician's fingers, had been the first person Alex let see the photo, the first to trace the scars on his back from shrapnel and say, "You're enough." But love in the shadows bred its own battles. Jordan's fear of his conservative family's whispers. Alex's walls built too high. When Jordan bailed for a safer life upstate, it left Alex hollow, channeling the hurt into the restaurant until it became his everything. No time for entanglements, he'd sworn. Until tonight cracked that resolve. Sleep evaded him, the city's hum mocking his restlessness. By dawn, his phone was exploding. Calls from reporters, texts from Mia, "Get your ass down here, brunch rush incoming." And an unknown number with a message that read, "Saw what happened. You okay? Coffee on me if you want to talk." R. Attached was a photo, not the military one, but a candid of Alex at a food festival last summer, grinning over a tasting spoon, flour-dusted and alive. Who the hell was R? Alex's thumb hovered, curiosity warring with caution. In a city that chewed up trust like stale bread, this felt like a breadcrumb leading somewhere dangerous. Downstairs, the bistro thrummed with unexpected energy. Word of the raid had turned sympathy into solidarity, regulars packing tables, new faces drawn by the buzz, even a local councilwoman dropping by with a fist bump and a promise to look into it. Alex moved through the chaos like a ghost in his element, plating eggs Benedict with smoked salmon for the brunch crowd, his smile a practiced mask. But under it, questions gnawed. Who tipped off the cops? Why now, when the bistro was finally turning a profit? And that photo? How had it gone public without his say-so? Mid-shift, the door chimed, and in walked the voice from the night before. Tall, mid-30s, with a jaw carved from granite and eyes the color of storm clouds, he shrugged off the leather jacket to reveal a faded NYPD Academy tee. Ryan Keller, badge clipped to his belt like an afterthought. "Heard you make a mean quiche," he said, sliding onto a stool at the counter, his voice carrying that low rumble Alex remembered from the shouts. Up close, Ryan was all contradictions. Cops' build honed from patrols, but a crooked smile that softened the edges, and a rainbow pin glinting on his keychain. Subtle, but there. Alex paused, spatula midair, heat rising not just from the oven. "You were there last night." It wasn't a question. Ryan nodded, rubbing the back of his neck. "Off duty. Saw the whole shit show. That cop, my buddy's partner, actually. He's got issues with. Well, you know." The pause hung heavy, loaded with the unsaid, us. Alex plated the quiche, spinach and feta, gold-encrusted perfection, and set it down with a side of fruit. On the house. For the yell. Ryan's laugh was genuine, cutting the tension like a well-timed garnish. Fair. But seriously, if you need anything, statement for internal affairs, whatever, I'm your guy. As they talked, the morning unfolded in easy rhythms. Ryan sharing war stories from foot beats in the Bronx, Alex countering with kitchen disasters that rivaled them. Ryan was out, proudly so, partnered to a graphic designer named Theo, though the mention came with a flicker of something Alex couldn't place, like a shadow crossing the sun. Theo's the one who made that pin, Ryan said, tapping it. Reminds me why I signed up. Protect and serve, right? Even when the system's got blind spots. Alex nodded, the words echoing his own buried oaths. For the first time since the raid, the knot in his chest loosened, just a fraction. But peace was fleeting. By afternoon, the bistro's back office became a war room. Mia had printed screenshots. The tip line call traced to a burner phone, but whispers pointed to Harlan Voss, the developer eyeing Alex's block for luxury lofts. Voss's crew had been harassing queer-owned spots for months. Code violations, noise complaints, clearing the way for upscale revitalization. He's got cops in his pocket, Mia spat, pacing. And now with your vet status out there, he's gonna spin it like you're the problem. Alex leaned back, the photo on his desk staring up accusingly. Coming out in the army had been a quiet detonation. Nights whispering fears to bunkmates who turned away, the discharge a polite exile that left him adrift. He'd hidden the heroism because vulnerability felt like surrender, but now it was his leverage. Then we fight dirty, he said, voice hardening. Press conference tomorrow. Full story, military, the raid, Voss's bullshit. And we rally the community. Word spread fast in the network Alex had quietly nurtured. Queer vets groups, foodie allies, even Jordan's old bandmates who'd stayed in touch. By evening, the apartment above buzzed with planning. Candlelit takeout from the bistro, laughter masking the undercurrent of fear. Ryan showed up uninvited, bearing files from precinct whispers. Voss paid off that tipster, he confirmed, spreading docs on the coffee table. Their eyes met across the mess, a spark igniting, recognition, maybe, or the thrill of shared rebellion. As the group dispersed into the night, Ryan lingered. You don't have to do this alone, Alex. The words landed soft, but they stirred dust from old graves. Alone was safe. Alone was survival. Yet as Ryan's hand brushed his in passing, an accidental graze that lingered too long, Alex wondered if the real battle was the one raging inside, where walls begged to crumble. The press conference dawned gray and drizzling, the kind of New York morning that slicked the streets and soured moods. Alex stood on the bistro's stoop, flanked by Mia and a cluster of supporters holding signs. Vets deserve respect. Love wins in Hell's Kitchen. Cameras clicked like gunfire, reporters shouting questions before he'd even spoken. He gripped the podium, a makeshift affair of crates draped in checkered cloth, his prepared remarks blurring on the page. The photo was pinned to his jacket lapel now, a talisman against the chill. I'm Alex Harper, he began, voice carrying over the patter of rain. Owner of Harper's Hearth, Army vet, and gay man who's poured his soul into this community. Last night, I was searched like a suspect outside my own door, not for any crime, but because someone fears what I represent. Murmurs rippled, a cheer from the back. He laid it bare. The military service, the discharge under Don't Ask, Don't Tell, the bistro as his redemption. I fought for this country, lost friends in the sand. I won't lose my home to hate here. Questions flew, about Voss, the cops, his plans. Alex fielded them with clipped precision, but inside, doubt gnawed. What if this backfired? What if the exposure unearthed more than support? Old flames, old wounds. As the crowd thinned, Ryan appeared at the edge, thumbs hooked in his pockets, pride in his gaze. You nailed it, he said later, over coffee in the empty dining room. Theo had texted regrets, a deadline crunch, but Ryan waved it off. He's got my back always. Like you will, once this blows over. The once stretched into days of frenzy. Petitions circulated, city council hearings loomed, and Harper's Hearth overflowed with patrons, tourists snapping selfies, locals toasting with mimosas. But shadows lurked. Late one night, as Alex scrubbed counters, the door rattled. Not a customer. A brick through the window, scrawled with "Go back to your war, fag." Glass glittered like shrapnel on the floor, and Alex's breath hitched, flashbacks blurring the bistro with desert nights. He called Ryan first, instinct overriding pride. Ryan arrived in minutes, uniform crisp despite the hour, his presence an anchor in the chaos. Together they swept up, Ryan's jokes lightening the air until the silence deepened. "This isn't just about Voss," Alex admitted, leaning against the bar. "It's me. Always has been. After the army, I shut down. Jordan tried, but I couldn't let him in." The name slipped out unbidden, a confession in the dim light. Ryan's eyes darkened, not with jealousy, but understanding. "Theo gets it. We met in the closet, him hiding from his church family, me dodging precinct bullshit. Coming out as a couple? Hardest op I ever ran." He stepped closer, the space between them charged. "But you're not shut down, Alex. That speech? Raw as hell. You're fighting." Their hands met on the bar top, deliberate this time, fingers lacing in a grip that spoke volumes. No kiss. Not yet. Just the promise of possibility, fragile as fresh dough. But as Ryan left with a vow to pull strings on the vandalism, Alex's phone buzzed. A voicemail from an Ohio number he hadn't heard in years. His mother's voice, frail and hesitant. "Saw you on the news, son. That photo. We need to talk." The call from home hit like a gut punch, dredging up memories Alex had flowered over like overworked pastry. Evelyn Harper's voice trembled through the line, laced with the twang of rural Ohio. "Alexander, I were proud. Finally, proud." The word he'd chased through enlistment, through the letters home that glossed over foxholes and forbidden touches. His parents, farmers weathered by church sermons and small-town norms, had sent care packages of jerky and Bibles, never suspecting their boy's secrets. The discharge letter arrived like a bomb, their silence afterward a fallout cloud. He drove out the next weekend, the Greyhound rumbling through Rust Belt ghosts, factories shuttered, billboards preaching salvation. Ryan had offered to come, moral support, but Alex waved it off. This was his minefield. The family farm loomed unchanged, sagging porch, fields gold with corn stubble. His mother hugged him fierce at the door, her apron smelling of apple pie, while his father, Tom, hung back, calloused hands twisting a rag. Dinner was strained civility, roast chicken, mashed potatoes heaped like apologies, but as plates cleared, the dam broke. "We didn't know." Tom grunted over coffee, eyes on the table. "About you, or the service, really. Thought you were just restless." Evelyn slid the old photo album across, open to a page of Alex in cap and gown, then the gap. Years unchronicled. "The news showed us everything. The raid, that cop. Our boy a hero." Tears tracked her cheeks, and Alex's throat closed. Hero, villain, gay, vet. The labels swirled, but for once, they didn't choke. They talked till midnight. His deployments, the don't ask policies, quiet cruelties, Jordan's ghost haunting the silences. "We failed you," Evelyn whispered. "Church said it was sin, but seeing you fight now. Love's bigger." Tom's nod was gruff, but real, a bridge mended with words long overdue. As Alex drove back to the city, the skyline welcoming like an old friend, he felt lighter, unburdened. But reconciliation's glow faded against new storm clouds. Voss's lawsuit dropped, claiming defamation from the presser and whispers of health inspectors circling. Back in Hell's Kitchen, the bistro pulsed with defiance. Drag queens fundraised at Sunday brunch. Vets shared stories over stew, and Ryan became a fixture, off-duty lunches stretching into strategy sessions. Their connection deepened in stolen moments, a shared glance over soup pots, Ryan's foot nudging his under the table. Theo met Alex one evening, all easy charm and knowing smiles. "Ryan talks about you nonstop," he teased, clinking glasses. "Don't break his heart. Mine's already half gone." The words landed odd, a puzzle piece misaligned, but Alex chalked it up to protectiveness. Then the twist, a tip from Ryan's precinct contact. Voss wasn't just developing. He was laundering fronts for a syndicate with ties to anti-LGBTQ groups, using raids to intimidate. "They're coming for you next," Ryan warned, face grim in the loft's lamplight. Panic flared, but so did resolve. Alex rallied allies, a lawyer from the Vets Group, a journalist hungry for the scoop. They planned a sting, bait Voss with a fake settlement meet, cameras hidden. The night of the trap, tension coiled like smoke. Alex waited in a back-alley warehouse, heart hammering, Ryan's wire itching under his shirt. Voss arrived cocky, flanked by goons, spouting legalese until the recorder's word live. "You think a fag vet scares me?" he sneered. "This block's mine." The bust was swift, cops swarming, Voss cuffed in a blur. But in the melee, a shot cracked. Not at Voss, at Ryan, shielding Alex, crumpling with a gasp. Blood bloomed on Ryan's shirt, hot and unreal. Alex dropped beside him, hands pressing the wound, screams tearing from his throat. "Stay with me, damn it." Sirens wailed distant. Theo bursting through minutes later, face ashen. "He took the bullet for you." Theo choked, cradling Ryan's head. In the ambulance's red haze, Ryan's eyes fluttered open. "Worth it," he rasped, squeezing Alex's hand. "For us." Hospital corridors stretched eternal, the scent of antiseptic a battlefield echo. Alex paced, Mia at his side, her hand steady on his arm. Theo sat statue still, revelations spilling in whispers. Their relationship, strained by Ryan's closeted cop days, Theo's exhaustion from hiding scars of conversion therapy. "He's all in now," Theo said. "Because of you." The words twisted like a knife, admiration laced with loss. When Ryan woke, groggy on morphine, his first look was for Alex. "Go after what scares you," he murmured. "Life's too short for walls." Discharge brought clarity's sharp edge. Voss's empire crumbled under indictments, the bistro safe, but Alex's world tilted. He confronted the pull, Ryan's laugh, Theo's quiet strength, the trio's unspoken bond. In a rain-lashed park, he laid it bare. "I love you both," he said, voice breaking. Not as consolation, as equals. Tears mixed with drops, but nods came. A new path, polyamory's uncharted map, built on trust forged in fire. Months blurred into healing. Joint therapy unpacking traumas, the bistro's expansion with a vet-run cafe, Alex's cookbook deal spinning pain into prose. One crisp fall evening, under string lights in the dining room, they toasted, 3 glasses clinking, hands entwined. The photo hung framed now, beside sketches of intertwined lives. Battles won, loves claimed, Alex finally breathed free. Yet shadows lingered as they do. A letter arrived from Jordan. "Saw the news. Proud of you. Still love you in my way." Alex burned it in the kitchen sink, ashes swirling like released ghosts. With Ryan and Theo beside him, he plated the future, one bite, one embrace at a time. The rain had finally stopped, leaving Hell's Kitchen slick and reflective under the sodium glow of street lamps, puddles mirroring the bistro's warm windows like fractured portals to another life. Alex stood on the stoop, breath fogging the chill air, watching Ryan and Theo disappear into the night, their cab's taillights winking farewell like a conspirator's wink. His hand still tingled from the clasp, the unspoken pact humming between them. No more hiding, no more half measures. But as the door clicked shut behind him, the loft's emptiness echoed louder than ever, a reminder that love's architecture demanded blueprints he'd yet to draw. Sleep came fitful, dreams weaving military flashbacks with Voss's sneer, Ryan's bloodied smile bleeding into Jordan's goodbye. Dawn found him at the market, basket heavy with heirloom tomatoes and fresh basil, the vendor's banter a balm against the ache. "Heard about the bust, chef," called Mrs. Lopez from her stall, slipping him extra lemons. "You give him hell." Gratitude swelled, a tide against isolation. Back in the kitchen, he lost himself in prep. Chiffonade of herbs, emulsifying vinaigrette, each motion a meditation. Mia arrived early, ponytail swinging, her energy a spark to his smolder. "Spill," she demanded, tying her apron. "That look on your face? Post-revelation glow or impending freakout?" Alex chuckled, the sound rusty but real. "Both. Ryan and Theo. It's complicated." He sketched the park confession, the tentative yes to weaving their lives. Mia's eyes widened, then crinkled with mischief. "Polly, bold boss. But you deserve messy joy." Her words lingered as the brunch rush hit. Pancakes stacked with macerated berries, hollandaise cascading like liquid gold. Amid the clatter, A familiar face appeared. Elena, the councilwoman from the presser, now a convert to the cause. Harper's Hearth for city landmark status, she announced over Croc Madam. Queer history, vet resilience, irresistible. The proposal ignited buzz, petitions flying digital wings. But Joy's underbelly stirred. Anonymous emails trickling in, veiled threats from Voss's diehards. Enjoy it while it lasts. Alex forwarded them to Ryan, who promised, eyes on it. His texts laced with emojis that softened the vigilance. A heart for Theo's latest design mock-up. A chef's hat for Alex's daily specials. Evenings blurred into a new rhythm. Group dinners at the loft. Theo's graphic eye critiquing menus with playful jabs. Ryan's stories from precinct shifts drawing laughs that healed old silences. Yet fractures spidered. One night, over takeout pad thai, Theo's phone buzzed incessantly. His ex, Marcus, a firebrand activist whose campaigns had once united them. He's spiraling. Theo sighed, silencing it. Thinks Polly's a cop-out, that we're diluting the fight. Ryan's jaw tightened, the scar from the bullet a pale crescent on his collarbone. We are the fight, he countered. Living out loud, not shouting from sidelines. Alex mediated, drawing parallels to his discharge. Hate thrives on division. We choose connection. The tension eased, but seeds of doubt took root. Could three hearts sink without one lagging? The landmark push accelerated. Hearings in City Hall's marbled halls where Alex testified, voice steady recounting the raid's echo to his Baghdad patrols. Service taught me duty, he said to the panel. This city owes the same to its builders. Applause rippled, Elena's wink a promise. Backstage, Ryan pulled him into a shadowed alcove, lips brushing his temple. Proud doesn't cover it. The kiss that followed was fire, deep, claiming. Theo joining moments later, their triad a secret symphony in the hush. But triumph soured swiftly. That evening, as they celebrated with rooftop champagne overlooking the Hudson, a news alert shattered the fizz. VA scandal links local vet to cover up. The article, from a fringe site, alleged Alex's discharge hid dishonorable conduct, twisting don't ask into whispers of misconduct. Screenshots of forged docs circulated, Voss's ghost pulling strings from custody. Alex's stomach plummeted, the skyline blurring. It's bullshit, he growled, but the damage seeped. Cancellations trickled, investors hedged. Ryan dove in, leveraging badges for forensics on the forgeries, while Theo designed countergraphics. Memes reclaiming the narrative with the real photo captioned, "Honor isn't paper." Mia rallied the staff, specials dubbed truth bombs, explosive flavors of chili rubbed ribs and sriracha aioli. Community poured in, letters from fellow vets, crowdfunding spiking to cover legal fees. Yet isolation clawed. His parents called, voices laced with worry. We believe you, son, Evelyn soothed. Fight like you did overseas. The low point hit during a stakeout Alex shouldn't have joined. Ryan's tip on a Voss ally meeting in a dive bar. Disguised in hoodie and jeans, Alex shadowed from afar, adrenaline a familiar rush. But when the ally spotted him, recognition flashing like a flare, chaos erupted. Fists flew, a bottle shattered, and Alex tasted blood, grappling until backup swarmed. Bruised and bandaged in the precinct's harsh light, Ryan's fury was a storm. What the hell, Alex? You're not a soldier anymore. The words cut deeper than the split lip, echoing Jordan's pleas. Theo arrived, bridging with quiet fury. We're a team. No solos. The fight spilled home, accusations flying like shrapnel. Ryan's protectiveness bordering control, Alex's recklessness a mask for fear, Theo's mediation fraying under strain. I can't lose you both to this, Alex confessed, sinking to the floor. Vulnerability cracked the dam, stories of lost platoons. The discharges, shame weaponized anew. Ryan knelt, scars aligning. We rebuild together. Theo's arms encircled, a circle unbroken. Dawn found them entwined on the couch, resolutions whispered, boundaries drawn, therapy doubled, trust as the mortar. Vindication came swift, forgeries traced to Voss's lawyer, charges stacking like cordwood. The article retracted, landmark status greenlit with fanfare, a ribbon cutting where Alex, Ryan, and Theo stood shoulder to shoulder, the photo enlarged on a banner fluttering beside. To hidden heroes, The mayor toasted, but Alex's eyes met his love's, the real victory in their linked hands. Still, growth demanded tending. Jordan resurfaced at the event, uninvited, his gaze lingering with old hunger. "You look happy," he said, hug awkward. Alex nodded, firm. "I am." Built it brick by brick. The closure settled like dusted flour, space cleared for new recipes. Winter blanketed the city in hush. The bistro's windows steamed with holiday warmth. Turkey pot pies, eggnog creme brulee. The triad deepened. Shared holidays at the farm. Ryan's precinct pride parade float. Theo's exhibit of queer vet portraits featuring Alex's face. Conflicts arose, small but sharpening. Ryan's overtime straining date nights. Theo's wanderlust clashing with Alex's rootedness. Each tested, each mended, forging resilience. One snow-dusted eve, as they slow danced in the loft to jazz from Theo's vinyl, Alex paused. "This, us, it's the plot twist I never saw." Ryan's grin flashed. "Best kind." Theo hummed agreement, the melody of their lives harmonizing at last. Spring unfurled tentative, cherry blossoms dusting Hell's Kitchen like confetti from a long-delayed parade. But beneath the bloom, undercurrents stirred, whispers of city budget cuts threatening arts grants, the kind Theo's firm relied on. Alex noticed the strain first, Theo's sketches piling unfinished, his laughs a shade forced over morning coffee. "Just deadlines," Theo brushed off, but his eyes betrayed the lie, shadows of Marcus's activism haunting like uninvited guests. Ryan, ever the fixer, suggested a getaway. Weekend in the Catskills, no signals. And Alex latched on, visions of cabin coziness countering the bistro's relentless churn. They piled into Ryan's truck, city fading in the rear view, winding roads flanked by greening hills. The cabin was rustic charm, stone hearth, loft bed overlooking a lake glassy as polished obsidian. Evenings blurred into domestic idyll. Theo grilling trout with Alex's herb rub, Ryan chopping wood with swings that echoed his precinct precision. Laughter flowed freer, stories unspooling by firelight. Theo's first Pride March, ducking confetti bombs. Ryan's academy hazing, coming out mid-sparring match. Alex shared rarer gems, the Baghdad rooftop where he'd first kissed a fellow soldier under stars indifferent to rank, the discharge's numb aftermath scrolling job ads till culinary school beckoned. But idols crack. On a hike, mist cloaking the trail, Theo lagged, confession tumbling. Marcus had poached a client, bad-mouthing Polly as distraction from the cause. "He says we're performative," Theo vented, kicking pebbles. Ryan's fists clenched. "Let him talk. We've got receipts." But Alex saw the wound, the old fear of unworthiness. That night, vulnerability circled. They stripped not clothes, but armors. Theo admitting envy of Alex's rooted fame. Ryan voicing Coplife's isolation. Alex owning his wall's selfishness. Dawn broke with packs, weekly check-ins, Theo pitching joint projects, a bistro collab with his designs on plates. Return brought reinvigoration. Theo's firm landed a queer youth center gig, his poly pride woven into murals of interlocking hands. The bistro hosted launch nights, walls alive with color mirroring their lives. Yet external gales howled, a precinct reshuffle sidelining Ryan to desk duty, his badges shine dimming frustration. "Paper pusher," he grumbled over peels of garlic. Alex countered with purpose. "You're freeing patrols for real heroes." But tension simmered. Ryan's patrols replaced by brooding silences. The breaking point crested during Pride Month prep, the city electric with rainbows. A joint event, bistro booth at the parade, Theo's graphics, Ryan's security, promised unity, but logistics frayed nerves. Ryan snapped at a vendor mix-up, Theo withdrew into sketches, Alex mediated till exhaustion. Post-event, champagne flat and flutes, accusations erupted. "You treat this like a op, not a life." Theo hurled at Ryan. "And you're escaping into art." Ryan fired back. "Alex, the fulcrum, shattered. Stop using me as buffer. I'm drowning too." Silence fell heavy. Then apologies cascaded, raw, unfiltered. They drove to the farm unannounced, Evelyn's welcome pious south. Amid cornfields, Tom's gruff wisdom cut through. "Love's like farming. Storms come, you replant." Morning's mucking stalls bonded them, laughter returning tentative. Back in the city, they rebuilt. Couples' nights rotating, a shared journal for unspoken fears. Summer scorched, the bistro's patio a haven of iced gazpacho and shaded tales. A curveball landed. Invitation to a Vets Gala in D.C., Alex as keynote. Our hero, Ryan teased, but anxiety gnawed, facing brass who'd enforce silence. Theo designed his tuxedo swag. Ryan prepped talking points. The speech soared. Service doesn't end with discharge. It evolves in kitchens, in love's defying odds. Standing ovation thundered, but backstage, a general cornered him, regret the policy, his handshake lingering paternal. The high crashed en route home. Truck hydroplaned on black ice. Wait, summer. No. Memories slipped to fall's prelude. A minor fender bender, but Theo's white-knuckled grip betrayed phobias from a childhood crash. Ryan pulled over, cradling him till breaths evened, Alex humming lullabies from army nights. Vulnerability's vines strengthened them, roots delving deeper. Fall's harvest brought bounty. Landmark plaque unveiling. A brass star etched, resilience rises here. Crowd swelled, toasts flowing, but a face in the throng chilled. Harlan Voss, out on bail, smirk venomous. This ain't over, Harper. Ryan tensed, hand on holster, but Alex stepped forward. It is for you. Security escorted him out, but the threat lingered, a specter demanding vigilance. Winter's grip tightened with a blizzard, stranding them in the loft, blessed isolation. Board games devolved to pillow forts, secrets shared by candlelight when power flickered. Theo confessed a novel brewing. Polly lives as heroes. Ryan admitted therapy unearthed deployment guilt. Alex revealed cookbook fears, vulnerabilities page. Storms passed, leaving clarity, their love, a hearth against winds. Yet spring's thaw unearthed buried minds. A letter from Alex's platoon mate, long lost, heard your story. Mine's similar, suicide note cited the policy. Grief hollowed them, vigils lit for the silenced. Activism reignited, lobbying for repeal memorials, their triad's voice amplified. Conflicts arose. Ryan's promotion clashing with Theo's touring exhibit, Alex's expansion straining time. Each navigated, emerging tighter. One equinox eve, under harvest moon, they vowed anew on the rooftop. Rings exchanged, simple bands etched with intertwined initials. To twists unending, Alex toasted. Laughter echoed, the city their witness, love's woven eternal. The rings caught sunlight like captured stars as Alex stirred risotto in the bistro's heart. Arboreal grains blooming creamy under constant ladle. Life post-vows hummed a steadier tune. Theo's exhibit touring Midwest queer spaces. Ryan's sergeant stripes earning precinct respect. Alex's cookbook, Hearth and Honor, climbing indie lists with recipes laced in memoirs. But Harmony's illusion shattered with a call from Elena. Budget acts hovering over landmark funds. Voss's allies and council pushing fiscal responsibility. Rally mode engaged. Mia orchestrating petitions. Theo's graphics viraling. Ryan pulling union strings. A town hall loomed, chamber packed with allies and adversaries. Alex spoke last, voice thunder. This plaque isn't stone, it's souls who've fought to belong. Cut it, you cut us. Cheers drowned jeers, vote teetering till a surprise. Evelyn and Tom, flown in, testimonies raw. Our son's home is here. Honor that. Victory squeaked through, hugs fierce. Euphoria crested into complacency's trap. Theo's tour extended. Chicago calls magnetic, and distance frayed threads. Late-night FaceTimes crackled with static, words clipped by fatigue. Ryan buried in cases. Alex in orders, silences grew. A weekend reunion in the city sparked reconnection. Sensory feast of massages, home-cooked feasts, but undercurrents swirled. Theo's mention of a collaborator's flirt, dismissed but stinging. The boil-over brewed during a harvest festival, bistro tent laden with pumpkin ravioli. Theo arrived late, eyes bright from tour tales, but Ryan's greeting cooled. Another extension? Over cider, barbs flew veiled. Ryan settled down, undertone clashing. Theo's live fully. Alex buffered till snapping. I'm not referee. Communicate, damn it. Retreat to the loft, doors slamming. then doors opening to truths. Ryan's fear of loss echoing deployment ghosts. Theo's wanderlust masking abandonment scars. Alex's mediation hoarding control. Therapy's couch became sanctuary. Sessions dissecting patterns till patterns bent. Vulnerability isn't weakness, their counselor urged, and they leaned in. Date jars drawn weekly, surprises scripted. Ryan's poetry slams. Theo's stargazing picnics. Alex's sunset sails. Bonds mended, elastic now. Winter solstice brought magic. Cabin return, tree trimmed with vet dog tags and pride pins. Gifts unwrapped hearts. Theo's portrait triptych capturing their essences intertwined. Ryan's custom knives engraved, sliced through. Alex's playlist of anthems from their arcs. Snow fell soft, world hushed, their circle incandescent. Spring's vigor-propelled projects. Cookbook tour pairing signings with pop-ups. Ryan mentoring queer recruits. Theo's novel manuscript shared in beta reads. A hitch. Jordan's book launch invite. His memoir, Closeted Keys, delving their past. Alex attended solo. Pages poignant. Love unmarred by regret. Post-talk. You've built empires, Jordan said. I'm echoes. Closure's gift. Envy banished. Summer sizzled with sabbatical. A road trip cross-country. Truck crammed with coolers and canvases. Deserts whispered resilience. Mountains echoed vows. Oceans washed doubts. Stops at vet memorials stirred reflections. Arlington's rose a litany of what-ifs, but their hands linked defying silences. Fall's palette painted change. Theo's pregnancy announcement. Surrogate path chosen post-tour. A child to weave their legacy. Joy cascaded. Fears nipping. Ryan's dad bod. Jokes masking paternal doubts. Alex's provider instincts overdriving. Prenatal classes bonded. Ultrasounds wonderstruck. Winter's nest built. Nursery murals Theo's hand. Crib Ryan's assemble. Lullabies Alex's hum. Labor's storm birthed Riley. Eyes like Ryan's storms. Curls Theo's wild. Cry Alex's fierce. Sleepless nights forged family. Conflicts petty but practiced. Diaper divides dissolved in coups. Years folded like crepes. Riley's first steps in the bistro. Tasting spoons aloft. Pride floats with Todd in wagon. Waving tiny flags. Trials tempered. Ryan's injury leave post-chase. Theo's creative block post-novel flop. Alex's critic pan. But unity prevailed. Therapy threads enduring. One anniversary. Under string lights. Riley asleep between. They renewed. To endless chapters. Laughter mingled with yawns. The greatest twist. Love's quiet crescendo. Riley's giggles echoed through the bistro like tiny bells as she helped Alex roll dough on the flowered island, her chubby fists pounding chaos into future biscuits. At 3, she was a whirlwind of curiosity, storm eyes devouring colors, wild curls escaping pigtails, fierce spirit demanding stories of Dada Ree's badges and Papa Theo's pictures. The loft had expanded downward, bistro's upper floor converted to family quarters. Playrooms splashed in murals, walls echoing with multilingual babble, English laced with Theo's French endearments, Ryan's cop slang softened to sing-song. Parenthood's rhythm was a new brigade, dawn feedings syncing with brunch prep, Ryan's shifts dovetailing Theo's freelance deadlines. But gears ground. A precinct promotion tempted Ryan to D.C., brass dangling queer liaison role. Bigger impact, he argued over bedtime tales, but eyes pleaded. Theo's counteroffer, L.A. Gallery directorship, exposure for us all. Alex, anchored by hearth and landmark ties, felt the pull tear. Family meetings devolved to debates. Riley's puzzled stares the judge. The crossroads crystallized during a farm visit. Autumn leaves carpeting paths. Evelyn scooped Riley into haylofts, Tom gruffly whittling toys, but dinner's discourse turned pivotal. Roots run deep, but branches stretch, Tom rumbled, eyeing Ryan. Choose the grove, not the lone oak. Nights under stars, they hashed. Compromises sketched, Ryan's hybrid remote, Theo's seasonal gigs, Alex's pop-up expansions. Resolution dawned. New York core, satellite spun. Winter's hush cloaked a stealth assault. Voss's appeal, paroled puppets suing for emotional distress. Courtrooms loomed, Depositions dredging raids humiliations. Ryan testified steel-spined. Theo's affidavits artistic indictments. Alex's cross raw. Verdict vindicated. Sanctions slapped. But toll lingered. Riley's nightmares of bad men's. Therapy for all. Spring's renewal birth balance. Ryan's podcast on queer law enforcement. Theo's children's book, Three Hearts Home. Alex's mentorship for vet chefs. Riley thrived. Preschool tales of my daddy's charming teachers. Yet micro-storms brewed. Ryan's overtime eclipsing recitals. Theo's travels missing milestones. Alex's overcompensating with bistro family nights. The tempest peaked at Riley's 4th birthday, piñata swinging amid balloons. Ryan late from a bust, Theo delayed by flight. Alex solo juggling cake and chaos till arrivals. Riley's wail, were my daddies. Shredded. After tuck-in, confrontation scorched. Presents over provision. Accusations volleyed. Tears salting wounds. Dawn's mediation, calendars color-coded, guilt jars for atonement notes. Harmony restored, fragile but fortified. Summer's sojourn to beaches mended. Sandcastles collaborative, waves washing pettiness. Riley's first swim, held triply, symbolized trust's buoy. Fall school start anchored routines. Holidays a tapestry of traditions. Thanksgiving farm feasts. Hanukkah lights for Theo's heritage. Christmas bistro sing-alongs. A shadow fell. Ryan's diagnosis. PTSD flare from a shootout echo. Sessions mandatory. Vulnerabilities veil lifted. Group therapy unveiling triggers. Riley's drawings as talismans. Theo's canvas captured Ryan's quiet strength. Alex's Stu's nourished body and soul. Winter solstice circle. Riley lighting candles. Vows refreshed. Through gales and calms. Growth's arc bent toward grace. Years layered like strudel. Riley's kindergarten triumphs. Braces glinting in school plays. Ryan's captaincy. Badge polished with pride. Theo's gallery in Brooklyn. Walls alive with family portraits. Alex's chainlet. Hearths abroad. Seeding queer spots nationwide. Conflicts evolved. Teen rebellions pre-echoed in Riley's sass. Career crossroads navigated with elder wisdom. One eclipse eve. Family silhouetted against shadowed moon. Riley queried, "Why 3?" Alex smiled, "Because love multiplies." Echoes of raids, discharges, bullets, transmuted to testament. Their story unbound. Adolescence crept like dawn's first light, subtle then insistent. As Riley navigated middle school's labyrinth, braces traded for freckles, curls tamed into braids, questions sharpening like kitchen knives. At 11, she was inquisitor supreme. Why can't I have one last name like Sarah? Over breakfast crepes, the query hung, Theo's fork pausing midair. Ryan fielded first, steady. Names or labels, were the story. But undercurrents tugged, school forms guardian blanks, classmates' curiosities veering cruel. The bistro remained sanctuary. After school shifts her domain. Chopping herbs under Alex's watchful eye, sketching menus with Theo's flair, role-playing arrests with Ryan's cuffs, unlocked, of course. Yet external phrase intruded, a bully slur, freak family, sent Riley home tear-streaked, fists balled. Ryan's instinct blazed, precinct visit threatened, but Alex tempered. Teach her armor, not vengeance. Family council convened, self-defense classes for Riley, ally assemblies at school, Theo's workshop on families like stars, many in one sky. Winter's bite amplified isolation, a snow day lockdown, cabin fever fermenting. Ryan's caseload swelled with holiday spikes. Theo's deadlines loomed for a retrospective. Alex's chain demanded oversight. Riley's rebellion simmered, slammed doors, earbuds as shields. The eruption, discovering Alex's old discharge papers, unearthed in loft purge. You lied? She accused, photo clutched like betrayal. About being a hero? The reckoning unfolded raw. Living room circle, tears tracing tracks. Alex unpacked the policy's poison, silence as survival, heroism in hiding. Ryan shared badge burdens. Theo canvassed confessions of his own closets. Riley listened, then hugged fierce. My heroes anyway. Bonds burnished, vulnerabilities forge. Spring's thaw mirrored thaw. Riley's coming out as bi, casual over pizza. Like you, but with girls too? Met with toasts, not tremors. Pride Prep became family opus. Float design Theo led. Ryan's squad marching tandem. Alex's booth dishing rainbow rolls. Riley MCNG with Mike Swagger. Summer's idol fractured subtly. Theo's diagnosis. Early rheumatoid. Hands swelling mid-sketch. Fear flickered. What if I can't hold brushes? Or her? Ryan's strength steadied. Alex's research is relentless. Specialists. Adaptive tools. Riley's card. Crayon hearts. Papa's magic stays. Adaptation's grace. Voice-activated software. Collaborative art with Riley's aid. Fall's equinox brought bounty tempered. Ryan's retirement whispers. Burnout's toll. Time for hearth tending, he mused. Transition eased. Consulting gigs. More recitals. Conflicts crested in holidays. Riley's first crush drama. Teen angst amplified. You don't get it. Echoes of their youths. Patience practiced. Winter's vigil. Theo's flare-up hospitalized. Family vigil weaving stories. Recovery's dawn. Adaptive exhibit triumph. Hands healing through will. Adulthood's threshold loomed as Riley eyed high school. Dreams diverging. Art like Theo. Justice like Ryan. Cuisine like Alex. Guidance gentle. Wings unfurling. One graduation eve. Wait, leap ahead. No, prom's prelude. Dress debates. Corsage ties. Curfew negotiations. Years montage. College acceptance to NYU Tisch. Tearful drop-off. Internships blending passions. Queer theater with bistro catering. Loves navigated. Heartbreaks mended with homecoming stews. Their triad aged gracefully. Ryan's silver temples. Theo's canes carved artistic. Alex's lines laughter etched. Riley's wedding. Years on. Aisle walked by 3. Vows echoing theirs. To multiplication's infinite. Grandchild's coup. Circle expands. Legacy's echo. Bistro Foundation scholarships. Memoirs co-authored. Lives a testament. Twists transcended. Love's narrative unending.